So, you all people are either bored or tired. So, this is a Q&A session. Before I take some serious questions from you, let's have some fun. Okay. There is a corridor here in between. Left side is bus group. Right side is payload group. Okay. So I'm going to ask just two questions on each side. And let us see which group wins, whether bus group wins or payload group wins. So we had one lecture by Venkat Rao on payload. So, okay, let me ask payload group itself. Uh, what is radiometric resolution? Do you remember? Anybody? No? Yeah, you have? Answer.
Related to gray coding, the pixels,
Huh.
the digital numbers related to the pixels.
So between black and white, there are some n number of gray levels. What is the n value? That is what we are really talking. That is the radiometric resolution. Okay, and that many levels have to be encoded into binary. Okay, that many bits resolution. So I am just revising also. That means payload group was sleeping when he was explaining radiometric resolution. Next. Then we had condensed talk on structure. So he told about when the satellite is sitting on the top of the rocket, there are two ways dynamic loads can come on the satellite. Two paths, he said. Which are those two paths? At least one is simple, no? You are sitting on a chair and chair starts shaking. It will come to you, no? So that is direct. What is the second one? No? I am talking to you from these loudspeakers. One audio load is coming to your ears and your eardrums are vibrating. That is the second path. Is it clear? So still both the teams are on 0-0. Now the third lecture, Barve covered about thermal. He said there are multi-layer insulations which are almost used in all the spacecraft. Typically, they have reached one particular number of that multi-layer insulation. How many layers? Oh, full 1 mark to payload team. Okay, now coming to bus team. Yeah, and question also is with respect to now deployment. See, I have a bank of solar panels which is folded. It has springs to deploy. Now I want to design the size or the strength of that springs. Okay, there is some threshold at which it will start deploying. But then I will put, to make sure, a very strong spring. What will happen? Is there any upper limit? I can put a stronger spring such that 100% it will deploy. But how strong? Can I go much stronger? What is the other effect which can happen? Anybody? Okay, I will give concession. Any mechanical engineer? What will happen if I increase the strength? Think. No? Have you heard something like latch-up shock? When in the end it reaches, if your string is too strong, the shock will be so high, your panel will break and go out in the space. Okay? So again 0 marks. So payload team wins today. Tomorrow we will see what happens. Okay? Congrats to payload team. Now, after this little bit of fun, it was not really a fun, but it just told you that how attentive you should be. Now next is, for all the sessions and subjects what we have covered today, anybody has any question, please raise it. All the experts are available here. They will answer. I am not going to interfere there. But please, anybody has any questions? In structures, anybody has any question? No. Yes?
Sir, is it possible that in the satellite we will make a strong electromagnetic force which will clear up the space garbage and then drop down and in the environment it get burned?
I think Rajangam can answer. I will also answer. See, the basic idea is like this. From EMI EMC point of view, most of the spacecraft should have least electromagnetic or only magnetic field of its own. The impact is so many. If you have that magnetic field, it can generate certain interference in vibrating wires, okay, or moving parts. If there are some electromagnetic, it will interact with the deliberately created magnetic field of a magnetometer, which is a sensor which you are going to learn about tomorrow. It will also interfere with a magnetic torquer, which is an actuator of control system, which you will learn tomorrow. So our aim is to have a satellite which will not have, or minimum at least, electromagnetic or magnetic field by itself. So you cannot make satellite into a magnet, okay, and pull the debris. That's what your idea was. You pull the debris. Idea is very good. But then probably whenever that is happening, your control system will get totally disturbed. Maybe it is always possible to design a harness which will not get interference from that, but control system might get, I would say. But thought is very good and some new idea is coming here. Okay, good. Next, any other question?
Sir, my question is from satellite overview,
Ah.
and why we called it nanosatellites? Is there any criteria other than weight, or unless it?
No, there is no. See, for example, weight and mass are mass and volume are also related. So to that extent, one parameter you have to take to define certain classes. And generally, satellites are classified with respect to their mass, lift-off mass. Generally.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, in one of the slides it was written that instead of battery power and solar energy, we can also use nuclear energy, but it is not
Advisable.
advisable.
Correct.
It was written. So why is it so?
That's a good question. Earlier satellites, some of the Russian satellites, they have been using nuclear battery, nuclear powered system. And one of the satellite got into problem, it exploded in the launch phase itself. So when it got exploded in the launch phase, that is the Russian system is very difficult to get. The details will not be available in the net because they're all highly secretive. But later on it came out. So on account of that, that launch phase, they have to close the launch site for almost about 2 to 3 months because of the nuclear contamination. Then and there it is decided that no nuclear powered system will be put in the space because once it goes to space and once it explodes, the entire area.
It is not in our hand, then it can be more damageable.
Yeah, I think that's the main reason.
So that can be more dangerable than
Much more dangerous.
dangerable than its
You know
use.
that whenever the nuclear explosion took place in
It
Japan,
is very hazardous.
the plant has been closed with the lead. Lead has been poured into the plant. Even then, the nuclear radiation was lingering. Such type of tragedy is the problem. The greatest example is the Bhopal gas tragedy. Still, even though people are talking about the leakage of that. So, any kind of a human disaster should be avoided.
Anybody else? Structure questions are over. Can we move to thermal questions if anybody has any questions? Thermal control system of any general satellite or nano satellite.
I am asking about the space debris.
Which temperature?
Says space debris. DEBRIS.
Debris.
Yes, sir.
Debris temperature.
Sir, how to manage a debris?
How to manage a debris? That was not the topic here anyway, but there are many things
And
are
sir,
happening. One is pick and throw or pick and bring back also is people are trying to design. Okay, and maybe subsequently there will be a now law that every small satellite or this thing must have a deorbiting system, one way or the other, either the active or the passive, and they will also give time limit. Okay, generally, Once you come below a certain altitude, very quickly the air drag will take it into the atmosphere and it should burn. That is the criteria. But there is always a calculation when you really say end of life to burnout, and there that limit also they might put in the law. Okay, but as of now, you have to launch missions to collect debris. There is no other way, because it is following simply normal physics, Newton law and Kepler law, nothing else.
So what we understand of pods,
What is that?
pods, PODs.
Pods. Who is a structural pod? Huh? Which pods you are talking about?
So
Is it COTS or
what we understand pods.
Oh, that deployment system is that?
Yes,
Okay.
Good question. The satellite has to be launched from the launch vehicle. So the launch vehicle provides various interfaces. If it is a smaller satellite, one interface. If it is a bigger satellite, another interface. Suppose when you go for a CubeSat kind of a thing, or a small satellite, very, very small nano satellite, they cannot have individual interfaces for that. So they will stow, as he has explained to you, 4 or 5 satellites, 6 satellites will be stored into a container, a canister kind of a container with a locking mechanism. So that is called, that canister is called a pod. Pod which contains all the satellites will be thrown out. So once in orbit, that canister opens, then each satellite has been thrown out. So that's it. I hope it's okay. The debris, that is the latest they have a trial, like a tug. You go to the sea or place and you put a tug there and draws everything, all the junk from that. That kind of a system they are developing, seriously they are developing. So through one of the mission, they will throw the spacecraft along with the debris, then they tug it out and then bring it back. That's what kind of.
Anybody else? Your question?
So my question is from thermal control system.
Thermal, barve.
So actually, there are certain materials such as aerogels which are already available, which are already being developed currently, that have great properties to stop the heat from passing them. So why are we not using such materials in our satellites and improving them?
Can you spell out any one material?
Aerogel.
Aerogel. Aerogel,
Yes.
actually what happens is, we are doing some kind of experiment at ISRO. It has got certain what you call TMLT, that is the evaporative properties.
Evaporative properties.
So something with because of extreme under temperature variations,
All right.
its stability is very poor. Any our people are also doing some kind of experiment. Right now they are not happy with that material.
Okay.
Anybody else? Yeah, there, that corner.
Sir, how does heat dissipation work in nuclear power satellites and what coolants are used?
Which one? Power dissipation in
Heat dissipation in nuclear powered satellites.
nuclear power satellites. Nuclear power satellites.
No, actually, nuclear energy, you are aware, it is basically the stored energy. By virtue of its reaction, power is getting generated there.
sir.
Because if you talk about, if you are going away from Earth's satellite, means near Earth, going far off place, you cannot use solar panel.
Yes, sir.
Interplanetary mission. So there they are using this nuclear power, where basically they are trying to convert uranium thing into the energy, and that energy is utilized actually. No, thermal control means they make use of that converting into electricity, and once you use electricity, you can use like power generation. But it depends on that generation efficiency, how much you can able to generate the energy.
Essentially, thermal control principles will remain same. They are irrespective of the type of this thing. What heat it generates, what it throws out, what it comes in, what it goes out. That's all. Okay. Any other question? Yeah.
Sir, in a OSR optical solar reflector, sir, you say that it can't be a one piece, it is divided in sub pieces. And in the picture, it is depicted that it has round edges, square round edges. So it is possible that sun ray will pass through that round edges, the void in these round edges.
I think what you have pointed is correct. Actually, when it is like a bricks, when you say between two bricks there is a gap.
Yes, sir.
There also between two cells there will be gap. And the effectiveness in that particular area acts as a local blackening area which absolutely absorb the energy. That what you said is correct. Locally, and we cannot join two cells each other because you have to take care of coefficient expansion between the cells. So you need to make, you see there is a gap between the
But
building.
it will decrease the efficiency also if it
What is correct? The amount of energy that getting generated will come down, and you need to provide that gap between the two cells.
See, to that, whatever question you asked is correct. To that effect, it is inefficient. But the ratio of the left area versus covered area, that is what you have to see. Okay? The covered area will do the work. Ratio of this thing is to bring down slightly that efficiency of that OSR.
Continuing on that, you know the people who go on the shuttle disaster through that. The problem is exactly what you're mentioning that. It's coming to a time when they have a single time to the bottom of the shuttle. When shuttle enters, there's a lot of associated black is very high. They have to set for the temperature. But what is happening is now, when the shuttle launches that. Launch side, after that, when you went up, they saw some 2 or 3 types of things to come out. So they were keeping their fingers crossed what will happen. So the localizer heat has been made extensively. So such type of problem will not happen because it is very, very small, tiny. The efficiency will really come.
Any other? Any questions on the launcher interface mechanisms? How does it happen? Anybody? Yeah, yes, sir.
So my question is from again satellite overview.
Hmm.
Sir told that the normal electronic circuit were failed in space. So, which type of circuits were used in space?
Which particular circuit you are referring?
Sir told that special purpose circuits are used in space because normal circuits will fail there.
Correct. Hardened, radiation hardened.
Only mistaken. The same circuit what you are using the ground only it should be used there. The only thing the component what you are being used for the circuit should be qualified for to withstand the temperature, which one the environment in space. That's all the difference. That's why they used to say a space hardened component, space qualified component. Nowadays, what is happening is commercially off-the-shelf components are available. They have gone through an extensive test and the source itself, and it has been flown so many times in space. So it's got a good heritage. So that kind of a commercially off-the-shelf, which has been tested, well-tested, proven component you can use. But circuit-wise, it is remain the same. There's no difference between what circuit you have in ground, what circuit in onboard. Same circuit.
Difference is material, I think.
Not material. It is the component has to be rated for that. Tomorrow, when the quality assurance presentation is there, you'll be able to understand that. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Are there any more questions? Yeah. This time you can sit and ask.
So in the design specification, what is the basic meaning of COTS, COTS versus qualified?
Commercially off the shelf.
So basically its meaning, what is the use of COTS?
Means what? If it is like compromise between money you have and the reliability you want to achieve. Correct? It's a practical problem. If you really want to build a satellite in 1.5 crores, 2 crores, you cannot afford even a resistor or a transistor or a chip or a computer chip which is totally hardened, space qualified by the manufacturer itself. He will charge you 100 times. Commercially available versus hardened. Price difference will be 100 times. So what? Then you are all engineers. So you make an engineering choice. Yeah, okay. This component is commercially available. Off the shelf means what? You go tell him and he gives you component. Give money, get component. Then you decide, I am using it in this condition. Then I am using it in this environment. That also you have decided. Then what measures you will take now that this will not fail? Because that will come under quality assurance lecture, maybe on third day. Okay? But simple things, you think when you go home now, how will you really qualify a off-the-shelf component and still be confident that it will work in space? You think, maybe you can answer after that this thing. Okay? Any other? Yeah.
Sir, how to maintenance satellite after launching on a space?
Okay. This is a topic which is called post-launch operations. The mission life can be anywhere 6 months, 1 year, 10 years, 15 years, depending on what you want to do. Okay. So how to maintain that spacecraft in the orbit, how to maintain that orbit or its position, how to operate your payload, how to keep the spacecraft in the right orientation. You please keep your enthusiasm for next 2 days.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else? Yeah.
Sir, we have discussed that while packing the satellite, there should not be any dust particles. So,
correct.
By mistake, if some particles slipped into it, so what problems are likely to be created?
Yes, so many types of situations are there. Okay, you are wearing specs, I am also wearing specs. Let us say we don't clean it before wearing, and even after cleaning, taking all the care, while coming, one dust particle is sitting there. What is the impact? That whatever scene I am seeing, that dust particle is still there. It is occulting whatever my view is there. Simple one. Next, I have a thruster which has a very small orifice, microns. Okay, that dust particle goes and sits there. What is the impact? Thruster fails. Correct? There may be few more cases like even surface. You take a conductor surface. Okay, some printed circuit type of surface is there. Between two paths, dust particle layer you give, it will short. Dust particles can also form a current path. Okay, they can also make a breakdown voltage finally into short circuit. So all this is there. That's why we insist that even whichever, though components can be commercially off the shelf, assembly integration also always has to be in a clean room, and you have to maintain. What we do, all the sensitive surfaces are kept covered till launch. And even within the environment of launch, certain amount of positive pressure, purging of nitrogen, all that is controlled. All these are, tricks of the trade or skills which you will learn when you really build the satellite over next 2 years probably. Okay. So if questions are over, we declare that today's sessions are over. And remember that payload team has won today. So it's a challenge for now bus team tomorrow to come more prepared, be more attentive. Yeah, assuming that is the assumption, obviously. Now they are so intelligent, they have made all that assumptions. They are going to design satellites. So this is very simple assumption. Okay, so please come prepared, come in time and be attentive. Thank you. Have a good day.